Good morning, dear students. This is the first revision video of Geography Chapter 1. Chapter name is Resources and Development. Students, you are knowing that very soon your examination will start, and that is your half yearly examinations, the first term examination, and we hope that you are working very hard for that. So this is the first revision video which will help you to understand the chapter once again, resources and development. So first see, when we talk about the resource and development, we need to understand that what are resources. You have read already that everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable, can be termed as a resource. So only three terms you have to keep in your mind, that which type of source, because everything which is present in our environment, that is a source. It is human being who are just using the sources by converting it into a valuable resource with the help of technology, with the help of skill, with the help of knowledge. So this is the human being who are transforming the sources into a valuable resource. So we must understand that before calling a resource, we have to check that whether it is coming in that category or not. So how we will check that? We have to check that whether it is technologically accessible or not. Technologically accessible, it means we are knowing that resources are available, but we don't have the technology to just access it. So that is called technologically accessible. Economically feasible also, we all know that we can produce solar energy, we know that we can produce the wind energy, tidal energy, but these are very expensive. Okay, because for setup the plant for that, so that we can get the solar energy and the wind energy or the tidal energy, that we have to set up a proper function, okay, a proper working plant. So that's why these must be affordable also. This is not affordable. Culturally acceptable means our culture also must grant the use of resource, because sometimes we often come across such type of people who used to protest whatever the resource development we are just going to do in their areas. People used to protest against that. So we need to understand that they are just very much closely related to the nature and their surroundings, especially I am talking about the tribal people. Okay, so that's why they used to just protest when people try to use some type of resources. So that must be culturally acceptable also, whatever we are using. You can see here, students, interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institution. Human beings interact with nature through technology and create institution to accelerate their economic development. You can see human being in this diagram, that human beings is interacting with environment, physical environment, that is nature, then it is involving with the technology, and then after that institution also. So these all things are very much important for us to understand that without human beings, none of the things which are present around us can be called as a resource. But when we just get the technology and institution, it means that proper training, the proper skilled program, when we will just get, so we can transform the sources into valuable resource. When we just classify the resource, it is natural and human. In natural, further divided into renewable, non-renewable. When we just further divide the renewable, then that is continuous and biological. Biological is further divided into natural vegetation, that is forest and wildlife. When we talk about the non-renewable, so recyclable and non-recyclable. In human resources, structure and institutions, and quantity and quality. Living things and non-living things, in resource term it is known as biotic and abiotic. You can see flora and fauna comes in the living category, and abiotic characteristics of the water, soil, wind, minerals, lights, just put them in the abiotic section. You can see here that biotic factors and abiotic factors. Okay, so both are interdependent also on each other. Without abiotic factors, biotic factors cannot just sustain. Next, just see, we divide the resources on the basis of exhaustibility. First, you should just say like this, as it is mentioned in your book also, on the basis of origin, biotic, abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, renewable, non-renewable. You are knowing what are renewable resources, what are non-renewable resources. So you can see sun energy can just renew itself, wind energy can renew itself. So these are the renewable source of energy. When we talk about the non-renewable source of energy, so these batteries, petroleum, coal, okay, so these are the non-renewable source of energy, because these can just exhaust. By this diagram you can better understand. On the basis of ownership, we have four resources: individual, community, national and international. So when we talk about the individual, it means your property, that is your house. When we talk about the community owned, park is best example for the community owned. When we talk about the national, so our railway, that is the national property. Anyone can just use this railway network. So that is the national resource. When we talk about the international, so here you have to understand that nautical miles are set. Okay, because directly our country India not ended before the Indian Ocean or the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. It just used to deposit the sediments, because when river just merge into the ocean or the water body, it used to deposit the sediment. You can see on the slopes. Okay, so these slopes here, the sediments are deposited, and you can see the margin of India. It means from here we can just understand that okay, our boundary, physical boundary is ending, but in reality what is happening, it is going from downside and it is covering some distance. So this distance of 12 nautical mile, first it is included in the Indian territorial sea boundary. Then after that, exclusive economic zone, SEZ also, special economic zone also it is to say sometime. So our region is up to 200 nautical mile. It means up to 200 nautical mile India can just use the resources whatever are buried inside the surface. Okay, and this whole region is called continental shelf, because until we will not reach to the deep sea, from where the main sea starts, you can see from here the main sea starts. So from here international boundary starts. Okay, but before that, till where our sediments just deposits, so till that area our regions counts. See the next one. On the basis of development, so on the basis of status of development, resources are categorized again into four, that is actual, potential, stock and reserve. You know, actual resources which are already in use, potential which are having the potential but not frequent in use, stock means resources which can be used in future, but in present technology is not there to access that. Example is water. Next is the reserve. Reserves are those resources which we are just keeping for the future use. Sustainable development is very much important topic, students, because this is the development process by which we can just preserve or conserve our resources for the future need. Okay, so what this sustainability of development used to say, that we need to use the resources which is present today in that manner, so that our development will also not compromise and our future should also not compromise for the same resources which we are utilizing. For that purpose, resource planning is very much important. So stages of resource planning are identification and listing of resources. First you need to just make estimate of your resources. You have to identify, you have to list the resources whatever are there in the country. Then you need to plan for the exploitation, how you will extract that resource, whether the suitable technology or skill institutions are there or not. Then after that you will just match resource development plans with national development plans. Sometimes we need to just invest huge amount of money in such type of resource extraction which has not the global demand. So at that time it will not get the value for that. So such type of resource is wastage. According to Gandhi ji, there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. Okay, some quotation Mahatma Gandhi also has given. for the resource, related to the resource. What is said that there is enough for everybody's need. Obviously, we have enough amount of resources, but if someone will become greedy to occupy that resource himself or herself only, so in that case it will become very less. Many people in Arunachal Pradesh are engaged in the rat hole mining, trying to involve in illegal mining of the resources, and in this way it can never satisfy their need. Okay, so greedy and selfish individuals and the exploitative nature of modern technology are the root cause for resource depletion. It means we are extracting resources in huge amount. So in this way our resource depletion is taking place. He was against mass production and wanted to replace it with production by masses. Okay, what is the difference between mass product and production by masses? It means he always supported the cottage sector industries, where he wanted to focus on the employment of the people. Okay, where he just shown his wish that production must be done by the masses despite production in masses. Next, in your first chapter you will have to read about the soil as a resource. You know that soil is very much valuable resource. When we talk about the types of soil, so there are 6 types of soil, students: alluvial soil, red soil, black soil, laterite soil, desert soil, mountain soil. I will show you the images and you can understand. These images can just fix in your mind so that you can write at least 2 or 3 sentences for that. Factors which influences soil formation process, that is the climate. Obviously climate somewhere decides that which type of soil will just form. Okay, when we talk about the hot desert climate, so that climate only deciding that whether which type of soil will just form over there. Arid soil, hot and that dry and arid soil are just formed over there. Topography also decides the types of soil formation process of the soil. Okay, somewhere slopes are there where you will get the laterite soil, somewhere you will get the volcanic surface, you will get the black soil or regular soil. Okay, somewhere you will get the mountainous surface, so you will get the mountainous soil over there. Nature of parent rock, from which rock it is just formed. Okay, that also influence the formation of soil. Vegetation, because somewhere which type of vegetations are just growing, that is returning back the humus in the soil, that also affects the soil formation. This is very much important soil, students, alluvial soil. You might have seen in your areas also, in your villages. Okay, this is very fine and fertile. Now when we just divide alluvial soil, so this is divided into Khadar and Bangar. You know that Bangar is the largest part of the northern plain, is composed of the oldest alluvial soil, and on the other hand the flood plains formed by younger alluvium are called Khadar. Understand it, students, by this. When river used to come from the mountain, okay, it used to carry the sand and sediments. And when river just get flooded, it used to deposit the sand and sediments in the bank area, okay, nearby the bank side. Okay, slowly and gradually this process will take place and this soil will just pushed forward. So the pushed forward soil will become the old alluvial, that is called Bhangar, and the new alluvial which is forming time to time nearby the bank, that is called alluvial, that is Khadar. So here some differences are mentioned over there. Now just see the black soil. This is the black soil, students. You can see in the image. This is the black soil image. Okay, you can see it is also known as lava soil because it formed after the deposition of magma. Okay, so this is very much fertile for the cotton crop. Okay, then next just see red soil. Okay, this area, just see how this soil looks like. Okay, just like any construction work of road is going on. Okay, so this type of soil will just support such type of vegetation. Okay, that is not very fertile. This is laterite soil, students. When you see the laterite soil, this type of chunks of rocks, so you can understand that what will happen with the water. It is also known as leaching soil. Okay, so when water will fall on this type of soil, it will go inside, and upside if you grow anything, that will hardly grow over there. Next, just see arid soil. So this is also known as desert soil. You can see it is dry and sandy. This is forest soil, students. You can see on the ground. Okay, this surface you can see rich in humus. Okay, just like green carpet area is there. So basically these are very fertile region and supports the deciduous forest. Now just understand soil erosion. You know, students, the removal of the top layer of the soil by various agents of erosion, that is called soil erosion. This is the sign of soil erosion. This is the picture. You can see how this area badly eroded by water or wind. Gully erosion is also very important, students. You can just understand by this diagram. This is the gully. Okay, and you can say simply this is a trench also. Okay, this is just like trench. Okay, this is just like trench, and you can just imagine that from this area might be possible that something had happened, might be magma erupted, earthquake occurred, or water body just flowed from or passed from this area. So various agents are there. Now sheet erosion. You can see in this image, upper layer of the soil only just removed. It means one sheet of the soil only just removed. Okay, so this is called the sheet erosion. Sometimes this also happened. How to just conserve the soil? Various measures are there. You can see the contour plowing. Okay, plowing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. Okay, so this way you can just make the contour to stop the soil erosion. Terrace farming on mountainous areas, you all are familiar with that. Next is the strip cropping. You can see between two crops vacant land is there, so that it will just restrict the flow of wind, okay, or speed of wind. This is shelter belt, students. Mainly in desert area also this type of trees are just planted. Some questions are here I left for you. What do you mean by resources? So everything which are available in our surroundings, technologically accessible, culturally acceptable, and economically feasible, are called as resource. What are the different types of resources, students? So you will have to write on the basis of origin, biotic, abiotic, on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable, non-renewable, on the basis of status of development, then potential, stock, reserve, and developed. Next, on the basis of ownership, that is individual, community, that national and international. What do you mean by resource planning? So identification, then after that matching the skill, the institution, and matching it with the country's development, that is resource planning. Sustainability of resources, already we discussed. Sustainability of resources means using the resources judiciously, so that our development will also take place and our future will also not compromise. Soil conservation. What is soil conservation? So soil conservation is the process in which we just try to conserve the soil by practicing various methods like contour plowing, shelter belts, then terrace farming. Okay, what do you mean by soil erosion? So soil erosion, you can just understand, soil erosion is the process by which upper layer of the fertile soil are removed by various agents of the soil. Okay, so this is the end of the video, students. I hope you understood. Read chapter again and again so that you will just understand Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, you are aware with that it was held in Rio de Janeiro, okay, in Brazil. And when it was held, why it was held, just read that and understand. Thank you for watching, students. Thank you very much.